I'm Reen Schwarzer, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. Microphones, activate!
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick Lynn. To my side are my noble and hairy are Taylor Hoyt.
Hey.
Maddie Lynn.
Sup.
And everything should be working, and I'm happy.
And you forgot to introduce Sean Chiplock, whose ghost is sitting in your chair.
I was about to.
I'm the bard.
And joining us today is our special guest, Sean Chiplock.
I'm the bard.
He's the bard.
He's the bard.
He's the bard.
You play the music to make us dance? Is that what happens?
I just do the dancing. I'm the bard.
Yes. This is how
This
this
is
works.
completely different from our last episode.
No, that's what makes
in
it
the
great.
best way.
In the best
We're gonna-
possible way.
We totally...
Our investors are already backing out.
Yep.
Yep, there goes another.
There goes.
Our stock
Our
dropped
sub-
20%.
Our subs are dropping rapidly.
In case you guys don't know who we are a JRPG-centric podcast. We talk about JRPGs mostly, anime, and gaming in general.
Yeah, sprinkling some fighting games and Monster Hunter. And
Monster Hunter is a JRPG. We've gone over this.
Okay, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Someone did
Monster
it.
Hunter Stories. Monster Hunter Stories is literally a JRPG.
Yes. No. You
They
are
said
not
They said-
doing it.
And now kiss.
No. 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 No.
So there is a meme going around with Maddie.
This isn't a meme. It's just something to try and tick me off.
Yeah, Maddie does not like that a bunch of people are shipping Soray and Mikleo.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean,
Why? Why? What are their proper ships? Who are they supposed to be with?
no one.
I don't know.
No one.
Yeah.
They're just
Make
bros.
They're bros.
They just
No.
hang out. They're
who,
bros.
Who does Soray like?
No, his name is Mikleo, not Mikleonly. He's not supposed to be lonely.
He's not.
He
He's
has
got Saray, but his family.
He's supposed to make Soray Sore-A.
Oh man.
This is gonna be a good one.
He's going to be here all night, folks.
All
I
night.
still want you to play the music, but I don't think that is possible.
That is not
I'm
possible.
here all night, but I'm only good for 15 seconds.
Hey,
Taylor, is there any news this week?
I don't think there's any news. I didn't look for news.
I honestly
because-
don't care about
Because
any
we got
news.
Sean here.
Yeah. So, the
Spyro trilogy? Oh wait, that's not JRPG.
I mean, that is news, though. Are you
The
a big
Spyro
Spyro
trilogy.
fan?
I played it definitely when I was younger. I remember that was pretty much the only game that ever existed at any friend's house I went to. Like rest assured, no matter what kind of consoles they played, they had at least one Spyro game. So that was interesting. My wife, she is crazy about Spyro the Dragon. So when she found out about the trilogy, she's been playing the old games like since 2 days ago, just out of pure hype for the upcoming remake.
That's awesome.
So
Cool. Were you guys into like the Crash remaster when that came out last year?
nah, I was never a Crash person. I don't think either of us really experienced the Crash series. So unfortunately, my knowledge of that series is extremely limited.
I've only experienced Crash 1, really. I remember you were complaining about how hard it was, and I was
Yeah,
like,
Crash 1's super hard.
It's like, it's easy.
It's insane.
Get good. Hashtag.
Okay.
It's easy.
Yes,
Excuse me.
it is.
Good.
But, so Sean, you recently landed a giant role, I think a pretty giant role, for ReZero. So, can you, like, tell us a little bit about how that all came together?
Oh man. Well, the audition started like any other audition, which was, we got the audition sides via the email, had the deadline and everything else, and I actually recognized the series because while I was in Japan with a friend of mine, Sean Lazarus, in 2016, we were there visiting, I think we were there for like 2.5 weeks to just visit, but we were gonna finish our trip at Comiket of 2016, Summer Comiket. So anyway, while we're there, ReZero obviously had been airing, so like there was this big marketing cross collaboration going on in Akihabara and like all these other places. And I had seen the whole series while whenever we traveled on the Shinkansen. That was how we passed the time. So when I suddenly had auditions for the series, it was like, oh my god, I understand the characters like completely. I've seen the entire thing. And it was scary to think about because I know that especially with some companies, like there will be people who come off as having the perfect protagonist voice, and you end up hearing them as like lead characters in every series, which more power to them. If they have the right fit for that type of role, they should get, you know, more work. So when I got callbacks for Subaru, I was like, oh my God, let's go. So I'm just really, really excited. There's a part of me that's worried because I always want to be careful about not letting the fanboy in me overtake the professional. There was a game project in the past, like we're talking many, many years ago, where I was incredibly enthusiastic about having the opportunity to audition. But at that point in time, my enthusiasm for auditioning kind of blinded me to actually doing the specs and like portraying the character in a realistic fashion, and it just came off sounding like a fanboy trying to be a professional. So there's a part of me that's hoping that my knowledge of the character and my excitement for the series came across authentically, and that it helped make Subaru sound more like a dweebus, you know. But I know for sure that I was 200% committed to the role. I knew the director said it was really helpful that I had seen the entire series twice over, because we could hop around where we needed, and there was no point where I was being presented with a line or a scene and I didn't know exactly what was going on. So that helped a lot with being able to put myself in the moment and completely commit to what Subaru was doing as a character.
How many times did you lose your voice?
Okay, so have you guys seen the series?
Yeah,
Yes.
me and Nick have. Have you seen it, Matt?
The entire series?
No, but I've
Yeah.
heard a lot about how
Okay.
much the
I've seen
main
the
character
entire-
screams.
I've seen the entire-
So, yeah.
So I kind of make this a point of pride. This is the biggest part. But you know that scene in the underground where he's like screaming bloody murder for 90 seconds and the bad guy of that arc is just talking over him? Like the focus isn't even on Subaru, even though you hear him yelling the entire time off screen. We got that in one take.
Wow.
Nice.
So
props
here's
to
the thing
you.
about that, because the answer to your question is, how many times did you lose your voice? And the answer to that is, there were some scenes where it was guaranteed to happen, that being one of them. So we would save those for like the very end of the session. But then there were a lot of cases where when you're like fighting a mob beast or just having one of your breakdowns and you're shouting constantly, but I'm doing that shouting over the course of like 8 to 15, sometimes 25 minutes, just because, you know, we're doing a take or 2 or 3 of each line, working our way through the scene. The voice just wears down naturally over time. And you also have to keep in mind that maybe the session itself wouldn't have caused me to lose my voice, but I was recording for Subaru at the same time that I was doing sessions or auditions for other stuff. Like at the same time, Subaru recorded, I think, the better part of a year. Like it was definitely longer than half a year.
Jeez.
And I'm not going to just stop working or doing other stuff at the same time. So I had video games where I was being burned to death and I had to record for that. I had video games where I had to like chant magic spells while pretending that my body was falling apart, like a type of like zombie-esque character. So that in combination with what I was doing with some scenes from ReZero, definitely there were points where my throat was always in a constant state of, is it barely healed enough to record, or do I need to not push my luck anymore? But going back to that one major scene underground, that was a case where I knew if I did it right, it was going to sound amazing and my throat was going to be shot. And if I did it wrong, my throat was going to be shot and we'd need to do another take. But because my throat was already worn out, it wasn't going to sound as good anymore. So I'm very, very, very proud of myself and happy that we got what we needed the first time around.
Well, speaking of that, like the voice actors union, I mean, I know one of the big points of contention was like people's like throats were bleeding and all this crazy stuff. So like, has there been... Well, this is an anime, I guess it's different, but like, are there more protections now? Like, have you seen the effects of all that?
I think a lot of the protections in place, or a lot of the concerns, were mainly concerning stunt people, like mocap performers, because to my knowledge, there are a lot of protections in place already when it comes to vocally stressful sessions. I think the main thing they were pushing for was forcing a hard cap of 2 hours if it was going to be vocally stressful. For example, a couple days ago, I had a 2-hour session for a game, and it involved my character being burned alive. And I'm actually still recovering from that. My voice sounds better right now, but like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything like Mishima Yuki, like a voice request, because my higher range is still, it's not back yet. So that happens pretty frequently.
Interesting.
You could do Rivali though.
Rivali. Oh no.
Out of protection, I won't, just because Nintendo. I like working with Nintendo. It's a great company to deal with, and I also know that they're very, very protective of their character branding. So, out of respect for the company, I don't do any recorded or any type of Rivali Teba voice request on recordings. It's just legal stuff.
Yeah.
I apologize for being a party pooper.
No, I get
So,
that.
Taylor,
They're very
no.
strict with their stuff, so I get it. So I remember when everybody was able to announce Subaru, you put out like a pretty heartfelt tweet saying something to the effect of like, "Oh, it was always like your dream to voice a lead role in a big anime."
I promoted that. I slapped down $500. So
Whoa, nice.
That tweet. That's why it's fake celebrity, you guys. I paid for my views. It was just one of those cases where, like, I wasn't trying to get fake followers. It's just I was so proud of the fact that I did this that I wanted to make sure it was seen by a bunch of people. I don't care if they follow me or not. It's just I wanted people to see it. That was my thing of showing off. But yes, I think I actually ended up linking in that tweet chain, but I still have the original post that I made on Newgrounds on like February 20th, 2007, where I said, Newgrounds, I found my life's calling. I want to, before I die, literally, this is what I said. This is 17-year-old me. Before I die, I want to voice in an anime. It wasn't a lead role. It wasn't a recurring character. It says right there in that post, I want to voice act in an anime in any capacity. So, I think I hit that goal. Maybe. I'm not sure. I'll have to review.
You might need to
my
review.
portfolio.
Just a little bit.
You might have just nailed it. Just might have gone over the line.
But it's a case where I'm even now I'm still getting used to the full range of my voice and what it works best with. And when I first started out in VO, my dream was to be the young male hero protagonist. A lot of my inspiration was from like Tales of Symphonia, whenever they'd have their build-up speeches before Genus casts Indignation, or especially Jade Curtis in Tales of the Abyss.
Nice.
I would fan dub Jade Curtis's Indignation speech all the time.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So just this, my initial inspiration for voiceover being that I could channel all of my energy into, at the time it was I can be loud and noisy and boisterous and crazy and get paid for it. Obviously now I'm trying to also make sure I can play the more subdued roles as well. But Subaru is a pretty both sides of the spectrum individual. Like when he's down, he's really down and introspective, and when he's pissed or going nuts, I mean,
Yeah.
So it was a challenge. It was an actual challenge, and recording for that series actually changed or trained my throat muscles. I don't know if it's permanently changed, but I know there was a point where they had been worked enough that screaming was no longer doing damage as quickly or for as long as it used to be because they were used to it. So
He is now ready for Dragon Ball Z.
The next Dragon Ball Super villain that comes after all the movies and stuff. Yeah. So now this is not a gotcha question. I'm just curious, but like, are you excited to kind of re-up your role with Nijima for the anime? Because I assume, I mean, we haven't seen the episodes out, but I assume that he's in it. Because he's like plays a pretty big part in the anime.
I'd assume that he's in it, but I wouldn't assume that that means I'm coming back. Because, for example, now maybe they will do it because I think between the Persona 4 game and animation, they kept it consistent between the cast. But that's not always the case. So, for example, Danganronpa, the game and the anime were completely different casts. Even among games that have long-established casts, Metal Gear Solid 5 replaced a lot of characters, including, well-known ones, even though the same voice actors had played them in previous iterations. So, my answer is I would love to return as Mishima Yuki for the animation. However, I don't make it a point of like assuming that I will, because one, that just sets me up for disappointment if it's not the case, and two, there's just so much that goes on in the industry that is completely out of our hands. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the company's like, we want to try something different, or maybe it's being distributed by a different company that has rights to the localization, so if they're distributing it, they're going to use their own local talent. There's all sorts of different ways it can go.
I hope it doesn't go like that, because like Persona 5 was such a beloved game, like nominated by everybody for Game of the Year. So I feel like we would be pretty disappointed. Like I know, like It's
mean,
one of my favorite games. Like if they
as long as
replaced
we're on
everybody.
that subject, the same thing could be said for Trails of Cold Steel 3.
Don't
Like,
say it.
Oh, please don't say it.
If there was
It's-
if it was like a different Reen, I would cry. It's like that's Reen.
It would be really hard to play that game.
I think that was his
he's
way
right,
of not
he's right
telling
here.
us directly. That was his
I
like,
am extremely
get ready, guys.
right. I am extremely hopeful that Exceed will manage to be allowed to continue to localize the series, because their entire localization team from Exceed, especially Brittany, is so dedicated to that franchise and the world and every single one of the characters. I legitimately do not think there is anyone in the games industry today who has as much intimate knowledge of the Trails series as Brittany does. And that is a huge part of how I understand Reen as well as I do. So it would break my heart if she were not able to continue being on board for that series.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say about that. Like, I just, that's how much faith I have in Exceed to do this series justice.
And then you have to
Absolutely.
worry about being in Cold Steel 4.
That's true, because they announced that already. Man, it's so hard
Oh
to
my
avoid
God.
spoilers for everything.
Well, I feel like this has been like a point of conversation between us, but I feel like Exceed has like doubled down on the Trails series, like in a big way. Like they let Nipponichi have Ease. Like they had been like exclusively doing Ease games for so long.
So I'm not going to name specific companies, but I think we can generally notice that many companies have things that they focus on, that they are known for. For example, I mean, I'll say this much because we know for sure. Can you think of any other dubbing company besides Funimation that does simuldubs as often as they do?
Not as often. Aniplex takes forever. I don't know if that's the...
Right, but
Yeah.
when we talk about like instantaneous simuldubs, who comes to mind? It's
Yeah,
Funimation.
right.
So that's what they're known for, and I would not be surprised if they do a lot of focus. As a gamer, I love NIS America's limited editions. Like they come with art books, they come
Yeah.
with music CDs. I would not be surprised if I said I'm not going to name companies, but you know what? I'm going to praise them. I would not be surprised if NIS America, if their business plan revolves a lot around limited editions, because every time I get an email notification, it's about what their limited edition offers, and that's probably a big selling point for them. In that same vein, I feel like it would not surprise me if Exceed has really doubled down on the game series that they are most intimately knowledgeable about, when they're like, hey guys, you guys know so much about the Trails series, whether it's Trails in the Sky, Trails of Cold Steel, you love all these characters. There's all of this intricate backstory that's interwoven across the franchise, and that's their shtick, is selling cohesive, fully fleshed out worlds that promise to leave players with the satisfaction that they've experienced something, not just played it, but that they're now part of a family and they can interact with any of these fans. And even if they haven't all played the same games, they'll find connections, because people who play Trails of Cold Sky,
Perfect.
That's the next one.
They
Next
should
one.
make that, yeah.
people who play Trails in the Sky and people who play Trails of Cold Steel will somehow still find elements that both games reference in terms of each other.
Totally.
Or Cold Steel people can talk about things that Trails in the Sky people are already fully aware about, and the Trails in the Sky people will be like, oh yeah, let me tell you more about that. And now all of a sudden, these Cold Steel fans are being educated on the franchise in a very organic, positive, interesting way. That's what Exceed offers.
Because I've worked with Tom back when I was a writer. I used to be a writer at this blog called Blistered Thumbs, and he was like so passionate about like, this is when like they were still doing Ease and stuff like that. And I mean, the fact that they still put out second chapter, I mean, they were working on that game for like a better part of like 5-6 years.
4 years.
4 years.
7 years. Like they took a long time to release that, and the fact that they could have just dropped it, like, it's not worth our time. But like you said, the dedication they have to continue it, and then to do the third chapter. Even.
And I am so thankful they did. Because, oh my god.
I picked up Cold Steel on a whim, and then the Trails series became like one of my favorite ever.
Mm-hmm.
So much so, it won your, didn't it win your JRPG bracket? Cold
No.
Steel 2?
No, it was second chapter, I thought.
Or it might have been second chapter. It was one of the Trails games that won your JRPG bracket
Cold
that,
Steel, yeah. It was
that
Cold
this
Steel
guy
2.
made. This
Yeah.
guy made a March Madness JRPG bracket.
So we've been doing
Oh
this
my
thing
God.
on my Twitter, March Madness.
Wait, was
style.
that the one that had like 50 different entrants, and I had to like full size the photo just to read one
Yeah,
of the
that was
titles?
mine. That was mine. Yeah. Yeah, so now it's down to the final four.
It's Final Fantasy versus Persona.
Basically, yeah, it's Final. So in one side it's Final Fantasy 6 versus Persona 4 Golden, and the other side is Final Fantasy 10 against Persona 5.
See, my March Madness bracket would be best waifu, but it would have characters. The characters would be like Naoto, Felix. You know, those would.
I was thinking, like, I want to do.
Girl.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Best
you want to
girl
talk
bracket?
about battles where blood will be shed? There will be. If you did a waifu bracket.
I remember when he was making it, he was like, "Oh, this is dumb. No one's gonna do it."
Yeah, I made it like literally on my lunch break. I'm like, let me just toss something together. And I'm like, oh my god, I broke 1,000 followers on Twitter because people liked it so much. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
1,000 followers or 1,000 angry haters with pitchforks?
I mean, it's all the same, right?
Even so.
Oh man, I remember someone like got super pissed and like 7 tweets of like, "You should have done this and should have done that." I'm like,
Yeah, it was like one certain game. It was like Phantasmal something.
I don't remember, but I just needed him at some point. He's like, "Oh, you got to get like a committee and like all this stuff." I'm like, "Dude, I made this in like an hour. Like, give me a break, man."
Yeah.
I see a bias here. It's like, yeah, it's
Like,
the
yeah.
games I've played.
The best ones. So okay, so not again. I don't want you to sling dirt because they paid you a lot of money to do this. But what were your thoughts like when you got the call from NIS America and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna completely redub Ys 8." Like what?
I was scared. Okay. Story time.
Yes.
Yes.
So, it is well known in the voiceover community that you don't record auditions when you're sick. You don't. Because what you record, what the client casts you on, is what they expect you to record as when the time comes. So if you record when you're sick, sure, it may give your character a cool cadence. You know, maybe it gives them a nice, gruff, dirty sound. But if you can't recreate that on the spot when you're behind the mic, then you've wasted their time. Well, when I first recorded for Ys 8, and I'm going to say this because I'm actually really proud of what happened. When I recorded the first time around for Ys 8, I had just come back from, I don't remember if it was from Japan or from a wedding, but I was just coming over a fever. Like maybe I caught something on the plane, I don't know. So I wasn't contagious, but my throat had that kind of thing where when you talk, there's rasp no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked really well. Like I let them know, hey, I don't know if I'm completely well. They said, come in, we'll just find out how you sound. We'll make a distinction. But the way it ended up sounding.
Oh.
No.
Oh no! We lost Sean.
We lost Sean.
Dang.
Dang.
That was a good story too.
Oh, he can still say it. He can still say
He
it.
can retell
He
it.
can read. I mean,
I told you.
There you
I told you it was finicky. So if I tap it the wrong way, it might disconnect.
you got it.
Okay, no
You got
worries.
it.
That was
We're
it.
good.
That
No
was it.
worries.
That was the to be continued, and that was the full story. That's exactly what happened. I was unforgettable, and honestly, I don't think I could ever tell the story again at that point because that was the best I'd ever described it, and I can't do it justice anymore. So yeah.
Go away, overlay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
All right. So anyway. So I came back. So what ended up happening is whenever I talked, I had that kind of like that Steve Bloom, like Wolverine rasp going on.
Yeah.
But because it was happening automatically because of my being sick, I didn't have to like focus on adding the rasp because like, you know, there's people who can lower their voice and add gravel in the process. But that was happening without me doing anything. So even if I talked in a higher pitch, which normally would be smoother, I could sound like a young teen who had Steve Bloom rasp. And it worked really well for a character like Hummel, who was supposed to be, you know, very much keeps to himself and he's very serious most of the time. So he just sounded fucking badass as a result of it. He sounded so good.
So good.
It completely destroyed my throat by the end of it because, again, my throat was being worn out and I was doing battle shouts and stuff like that while I was still trying to recover. So I was really happy with how he ended up sounding. And then NIS America said, we want to redo it or we're going to redo the localization, which means you're going to redo almost all of your lines. And I went, but I'm healthy now.
Oh no. Yeah.
I really liked how he sounded the first time around. And I think I managed to capture that. Like, I'm a professional. I'm supposed to be able to, like, play around and figure out how to create that sound. But I was so scared because I didn't want Hummel to lose that very, like, Shadow the Hedgehog, damn fourth Chaos Emerald. emo-ness to his voice, and it just came so naturally when I recorded it the first time around because of that throat rasp that was happening. So he was an interesting experience. He was both a great challenge and a great encounter in terms of working with what you've got, even if it's not ideal, and making it into something unique.
Yeah.
And that's impressive because
Best character in the game.
yeah,
Maddie cried when something happened.
Dude, I've said it so many times, but when Hummel left my party for a whole chapter, I was so livid. Like, I threw my controller down, I stopped playing for the whole day, and then the next day I was like, okay, I'm playing this game until Hummel comes back. I
call that a hum LOL.
Yes. But yeah, I liked the way you did Hummel, of course, because I was like, hey, look, it's Sean. And then I was like, oh, but yeah, it's Hummel. And then, yeah, you were Hummel. You're Hummel. But I streamed all my playthrough of Ys 8, but it started because I was adding, like little, whatever they called, to my stream whenever people follow, right?
Or subscriber notifications?
Yeah, like notifications. And I was like, I know when Hummel fishes, he does, like, I got you now or something, right? And so I was like, so I went through for 30 minutes, like, muted everything except voices, and I ran around, like, killing things, like, fishing a bunch of times, and there was one where I killed with a S-Craft, or, you know, what I mean.
Right.
And, nothing happens, and all I hear is you go, mission accomplished. And I'm like, clean cut? Oh my god, that was so beautiful! And now that's my thing. I have an emote of a Hummel giving a high five, and you just say, mission accomplished, whenever someone follows me. It's so good.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, Hummel is also my emote because I got affiliated. You could see it in chat if you are still.
Oh, the little.
It's a grump face right now, but I have a Hummel sly face and then I have a Hummel winking face.
Hold on. Hummel sly. I'm probably not writing it the right way. No. How do I do it?
You have to. You have to subscribe to me.
Kathleen.
Oh, I see. The shameless plug.
No, hey, whoa. I said it's in the chat. Ray Chana, who drew it for me, is actually using it a bunch right now.
Yeah,
so you can see it.
The little hat guy with the hat.
Little guy with hat.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, to those asking, these are Mega Man headphones, and they light up when you turn the sound thing off. Or on. Yes.
Yes.
Do you have the Mega Man helmet?
I have the helmet. It's currently in my car because I wore it once and it was giving me a massive headache. I do not have the Buster gun, but yes. So I have seen those. I have worn those before.
Nice. So, I was actually thinking about this. So you've done a character in like a giant game. Well, there are two giant games, I guess. There's like did a Persona voice, did a big character in Zelda. Done a lead in a couple JRPGs and a lead in anime. Like, is there, like, now that you're kind of meeting your goals, like, probably earlier than maybe you, what?
That he was banned
from
chat?
Are you asking, like, what my next focus is?
Yeah, or like, what's your next,
Dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
Dungeon crawler. Like, I was in it briefly. I play Mamoru and Chiharu in Mary Skelter. And there's an indie project called Infinite Adventures coming out soon that I voice an NPC and like 2 different male voice types for. But I have always been enthusiastically bitter about how I wasn't able to be part of Demon Gaze because I love that game so much, or especially Etrian Odyssey, which was localized by Cup of Tea. And my current dream goal is to manage to get either a storyline, a main story character in an Etrian Odyssey installment. Like, if we talk about Untold 3, how they typically have a story mode and there's their main party, I want to be one of those characters, or just a male voice option in a major dungeon crawler like Demon Gaze or Etrian Odyssey, so that you can pick me and have me be the voice of one of your party members whenever I do attacks. Like, a lot of people ask, like, do you play the games that you voice in? And it's not a case where I don't like hearing my own voice. It's just a case where the games that I enjoy, typically either they're only in Japanese because they're niche titles that are being localized in terms of script only. They don't have any voiceover because they're smaller production, or I just have managed to either not land the role or not be on the audition roster of the company that localizes those games. So that is my main focus. Is I really, really, really want to be able to play a dungeon crawler and have my own voice as one of the spunky fighters, getting skills and working through their skill tree.
Here you go. I have the perfect solution, and this may be a reality.
Okay.
It's called Persona Q2, and it has the Persona 5 cast in it. So there you go.
I thought he didn't like Q.
I didn't like Q.
Yeah.
I didn't like Q. But that's different from... First of all, the only reason why I didn't like Q was because of the demon fusion mechanics. Like, literally, I just could not enjoy the game as much as I wanted to when I was trying to, like, level up demons to try and unlock their skills so I'd actually know what skills they had to use, but then, you know, fusing them to make new demons and not knowing what those new skills are. If all it needed to do... Because the problem was, when I saw Persona X Etrian Odyssey, I was expecting it to be Persona in terms of story and character development and their interactions, which is what Persona excels at, with the game system and mechanics of Etrian Odyssey. So the dungeon crawling, the level up system, the skills would be based on Etrian Odyssey. So if it had had skill trees for the characters, like if the stats were determined by the demon that you equipped, but the character himself, whether it was Ryuji or I'm trying to think of, or Naoto or the P4 protagonist, if each of the people had their own skill tree and skills that they could use, that would have been right up my alley, and it wasn't that way, and that's why I couldn't get used to it. But it's still different than I would like to voice in a dungeon crawler. I have no limitations regarding that.
Got it.
It could be a hentai game for all I care.
And answered one of our questions.
That was going to be a follow-up, because I remember last time you were on, you mentioned that. Like, would you ever go back to doing those?
I still do.
Oh, there you go.
Like, literally, there's a game out right now called Camp Buddy, or it's in production, and I voice Aiden, and that is definitely like an 18-plus BL visual novel-style game. There's Winds of Change, which it's not a sex game, but there's romance elements. So it's like implied at a certain part. Yeah, I still do that kind of thing. It's work. Like, to me, it's like as I trust that people will separate me, the person, from the character that I am playing. And if it's something that I can do and I can do believably, pun intended, then why not go for it? You know?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Give a load, get paid a load.
Sean for Mega Labyrinth Z.
There you
That's
go.
what Craftium said.
I'm gonna look up what that is. Labyrinth Z.
It got banned in the UK because apparently it's like too lewd or whatever.
Yeah, I see the YouTube thumbnail right now.
That's all you need to know.
Is that the one where when your scats get up, your boobs get bigger?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
What?
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
the
you
one.
heard us right.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And you're gonna be playing.
I
one of
mean,
those characters.
I'm playing Dungeon Travelers 2 right now, and the entire point of that game is succeed so we can give you fan service, and it is fan service.
It's working for you.
100%. Okay, I have a question. Would you have liked to have done the voice for Mega Man in Mega Man 11?
No. Well, I don't know, because I am enthusiastic about Mega Man, and people have been asked, they're like, I hope you get to voice Mega Man someday. I'm actually extremely picky about how Mega Man sounds, because I cherish him so much, I want him to be represented in a reasonable, realistic, authentic, fitting way. And I am blessed because of that so many of his iterations have had such fitting voices. Mark Gatha is no longer even a voice actor. He's a doctor now. But his performance as X in Mega Man X Maverick Hunters is incredible. The way that he shouts, "I will defeat you, Sigma," towards the final battle is so crisp and so clean and so full of heroic determination befitting of X. It's fucking perfect. It's incredible.
I feel bad.
Corey Saver for, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Corey Saver for the original Mega Man Legends, Mega Man 64, had that perfect amount of young innocence with determination. He did a fantastic job as the Legends version of Mega Man. So I think of, if I'm going to voice Mega Man, I have to be able to capture that authentic youth element, which there are people like Michael Johnston who do that spectacularly. I'm gonna make sure I'm saying his name right because I want him to get proper credit. Yeah, Michael Johnston. Michael Johnston can play authentic young teenagers incredibly well, and it's funny because I'm trying to learn how to play his type of role better, but he's commonly trying to figure out how to play like very focused, very determined, sometimes borderline concerned, angry characters, which I do very well because I have this very enthusiastic energy. So Mega Man is definitely on Michael's side. He's a type of character who would be determined and heroic, but also be very naive. He's still getting used to it. He's still trying to like find his place in the world. And that's a very specific type of character, and one that I'm not sure I can professionally nail at this point in time. But I would love to be in the series. I could totally play like one of the boss type characters, or the cool. I can play the Dick. I can play bass.
Play Proto Man.
You know, Proto Man. I feel like I could do Proto Man. I've played. You know, I'm familiar with him a lot because of Chod and Proto Man from the Battle Network series. So those characters I feel more comfortable that I would be able to portray realistically. Mega Man, maybe not yet, but I'm not against learning so that I can say, yeah, you know what? I think I could in the future.
Charge dot. Mega Man 8.
Oh, Mega Man 8.
Oh man, can you do the Dr. Light voice?
If we find the media, we'll find Dr. Wily. You must find the energy immediately of a Mega Man.
Seriously, what do you think happened there? Was that just some guy in the office
You know what's really concerning? If you go to the... you know the scene where he's approaching Wily's castle and then he gets grabbed and shocked by that giant robot?
Yes.
Okay. Watch that scene without actually watching the scene. Just listen to Mega Man as he's crying out for Rush. You will not be able to hear that scene differently.
Oh boy.
After that.
We're gonna play Legacy right after this.
Oh, Craftium, bringing back my favorite part of Mega Man X4. Burn, burn to the ground, burn to the ground. Woo!
I'm 0. Yeah. Wahoo!
Yeah.
Woohoo! It's not over yet.
It's not over yet.
It's so funny because they got rid of that in the next one.
That just the way you said that reminds me of like Blaine from Pokemon Puzzle League. Red, hot, and ready.
The famous "What am I fighting for?"
What am I
I
fighting
should
for?
have been the one where your dark soul would lie.
Yep, there you go. No, this can't be possible.
God, there's been so many bad.
I'll bear my Arctic Blast.
Just stay straight. Just say it straight. Yes.
My Arctic Blast.
That's what you should have done
So
from the beginning.
So act like you're acting in Legend of Dragoon.
Wait,
Wait,
act
what?
like I'm acting in Legend of Dragoon.
Because every character has like the same exact move.
Wow. We got the new Dragoon spirit. How could you?
Volcano.
Volcano.
I'm assuming you've seen oh god, what was that really bad anime game? The one that had voice acting from like, oh my god, it's like, wow, my body is totally locked up. I'm going. What was it called? Chat, help me out.
I mean, there's a lot of bad anime games. You gotta be more specific.
Craftium's guy's like, I really can't feel my body right now.
Is it old or kind of newer?
It's like oh my god, it's older, but it's like an anime game with like these young teenage kids. I can't remember.
Again, gotta be
Chaos
more
Wars. Chaos Wars.
Chaos Wars.
Chaos Wars.
Got it.
Okay. Interesting. Haven't heard of that one.
I don't know.
Voice
I've just been playing
acting
lots
sounds
of
fantastic.
Legend of Dragoon. I just keep hearing Dart, Crush, Dance, Volcano.
Volcano.
You know what's really like funny though? There's like so many bad performances, but then you were talking about Mega Man Legends. Like that is like one of the best voiced PS1 games I think. Like ever.
Okay. I'm gonna get to that because I want to get to that topic. But since we're moving on, I still want to say something from the previous topic.
Okay.
That is one of my goals. I want to be hired to provide authentically Terabad dungeon crawler voice acting.
That would
Yes.
I want one of the male voice options to be me going, "Ha, take this. Oh no, please heal me. Oh, thank you. No, we did it, team. Oh, cool. Just really bad. It's just all.
We'll beat them with the power of friendship.
There you go.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yes.
We did it, everyone. That's the power of friendship. or just like really bad questions like, Can you believe they did that?
It sounds like you've been preparing for this role.
Oh, he's ready.
What do you mean? I was acting right then. I was trying to be professional.
I'm acting.
I'm acting.
Acting.
I'm acting. Anyway, so it is very unfortunate that I don't. First of all, it's unfortunate that Mega Man Legends 3 didn't get published, and I don't know the real reasons for that. But what you said is also true. I actually wrote. Oh my God. Socks make people sexy. Hold on. I'm gonna send this to you.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send this Mega Man. I'm gonna send this to the chat as well because I wrote it. Yes. Is that it? Is this it? Is this it? Yes. I wrote this. I wrote this. I wrote this? I wrote this? Yes, I did. So...
Okay. Did you send it via...
He said it's in the chat. He's going to put it in the chat.
Oh, it got deleted because I'm a spam lord. Oh my God. I can't believe I actually... Let me see if it works this way.
You can... Oh,
Nope. It's the...
All right. Third time's the charm. Yeah! There we go.
Nice.
All right. So, in an era when voice acting was usually an afterthought, or they just had people in the studio do it for the characters, Mega Man Legends, Spyro 2 was an example of game franchises that really treated it seriously. And they were like, if we're going to have voice acting, it needs to be at the same level of quality as everything else we've been working on at this point. And I really liked the Saturday morning, anime feel that it had for that game. And a lot of the one of my favorite lines is whenever you give a museum item to the curator, she goes, "Thank you so much. I bet there are a lot of people who will come to see this." And it's so peppy and enthusiastic, and sure, maybe it's exaggerated, but it really sells just how committed the curator is to her museum job. And I loved that each character really embodied their role in the game through that. So,
oh yeah,
sorry, this is me getting super hype about how quality the voiceover was for a game that old.
Yeah.
For me, I always liked the trombone and roll. I thought were really, they stood out to me. Mm-hmm. At least you playing that game, and then the little
the face animations.
Yeah, the facial animations. I think. Oh my God, I think that's probably the best on the PS1 too. Like even though it's just simple cell shaded, but the way they were able to emote was
they provided enough of them that there was an appropriate expression for each version that they for each emotion that they were trying to express.
Right.
So.
Agreed. Oh, I was thinking about this too. Would you? I'm sure you would never turn it down, but does doing mocap stuff interest you at all?
Originally I wasn't interested. I've been trying to break out of my shell because there are genres of workshops and games that I always try out for. If there's a workshop for a video game company, I'll try and go for that. If there's a workshop for anime dubbing, I'll try and do the workouts, or I'll do those auditions. And until recently, I was like, those are my focuses. Oh, this is for a promo for a commercial company, whatever. But then I've been thinking well, you're a voiceover artist, you want to work, so why not do these workshops and just learn how to do them, see if they're up your alley. Who knows, you could be a great fit and you could work with this company and get paid more. So I have not done mocap yet, but from my understanding, eventually, as technology continues advancing, mocap is going to become the main way that people want to do it, because there's some things you can do in mocap that you can't do in a booth. Like in a mocap session, if you're running around on a battlefield with your gun as you're talking, the stress in your voice is going to sound completely realistic. You can't do that sort of thing in a booth, because even if you run in place, you risk your body movements interrupting the quality of the recording. And impacting, they're like, we can't use the tape because it sounds muddled. And I've heard from people that when you do mocap, you never want to go back to studio recording, just because it's so fun as an actor to actually embody the character. Like if you're a wizard, casting a spell, being able to actually, throw yourself into it, or if you're a fighter who's, doing attacks, actually being able to lunge forward. It just feels real. And if you believe it, the more you believe it, the more the audience will believe it. So it makes perfect sense to me that people who do mocap end up loving it as much as they do.
Well, yeah, because it knocks. Like I've watched a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that like Naughty Dog does. Because it's you can just do it all at once too. I'm sure it's nice for them where they're recording the VO as they're mocapping. Like,
Yep.
It's just got to be so much easier.
Yeah, it is.
For sure. Well, do we want to read some fan questions? Or
No,
do
I
you
actually have a
some?
question.
Okay,
I want to
yeah.
know about this. So, I've noticed that you're really addicted to Mega Man.
In what way?
Just, it's everywhere. Your
Okay.
headphones, your icon.
I can see
You
something
talk
in the
about
back.
it all the time.
Your
You
giraffe
have-
is on something Mega Man related.
Yeah, Mega Man.
Oh, it is.
Oh yeah, it's the Mega Man statue. It's the classic Mega Man statue.
And you had like
So-
a panel about Mega Man Battle Network.
Yes.
So
it's
what-
called Go ahead.
Yeah. What made you get addicted to Mega Man?
So Mega Man 6, it's a whole bunch of different reasons. Mega Man 6 was the first NES game that I played that wasn't, Kirby's Adventure or something like that. And it's also the it's funny because Mega Man 6 was apparently like the least popular of the classic series, but it's the one I've played the most out of any game in the entire IP. I think I've beaten Mega Man 6 all the way through like 36, 37 times, but it was around the 32nd time that I realized that it had the same boss weakness system as all the other games. I'd only just used the Mega Buster prior to that. Through the entire game, I just
Wow.
used the Mega Buster. And it was around the 35th time that I learned that there were hidden items like the energy converter that like let you, if you collected extra health or extra weapon energy when the current one was full, it would start filling stuff up in the background. So that was pretty interesting. The panel is probably a big part of why I'm so grateful for the Battle Network series. Is the panel, which you mentioned, is called Mega Man Battle Network Life Lessons, how a series about the future can help you take charge of your own. And it's an hour-long panel of me basically gushing about Battle Network and its system and its battle mechanics, and then connecting them to life advice and habits of very successful people. Like, what elements are required to succeed in the Battle Network series that will also help you succeed as a business person or as a freelancer or just a person in general. And I like that Mega Man, across all of his iterations, he makes use of the resources that he has at that moment to overcome new challenges. And then he adapts and he uses what he gains from those challenges and adds it into his arsenal in order to approach even more difficult and more complex challenges later on. So the idea that Mega Man is willing to tackle obstacles that stand in his way, learn, overcome, and then build upon that and add to his arsenal so that he has even more resources to draw upon. I embrace a lot of that. I want to be able to, whenever I have a new experience in voiceover or a new workshop, I want to be like Mega Man and take that experience, take that skill and take it for myself, internalize it and add it, maybe not replace what I currently have, but just continuously expand my range of options that I can present to clients as a professional.
Dang. That's a lot deeper of an answer than
Yeah.
I was expecting.
Good answer.
So I take it your favorite series is Battle Network.
Yes, but I mean, it's hard. It's a constant fight between Battle Network and Legends, but at the end of the day, Battle Network was around for longer and it offered more in terms of ease of access, overall experience, the connection to our current day with the network, the internet. Like literally when I played Battle Network, for the longest time, I wanted to get wheelies. I wanted to get sneakers that had wheels in them so that I could roll around like Lan when I was running through my school hallways. It was that addicted.
I remember when that was a thing.
You were gonna be one of those kids, eh?
I was absolutely gonna be one of. But now I have Sunny, so I can,
There we go.
Sunny is there to take all of my bitterness. Anyway, so yeah, just the passion for it only grew and grew, and I loved the idea of being, because I was an internet junkie. I spent all my time on MMOs, so the idea of getting to have a net Navi who patrols the net for/with me, and we can work together to defeat viruses, that's so cool to me, to like help webmasters like get their pages or their products working again by going in directly and destroying the viruses that are causing it to go haywire. Why can't we have that for real?
We're only.
I want to
Feel
jack
fine,
into a squirrel, okay? I want to jack into a park squirrel.
There you go. Sadly, we have never played the Battle Network games.
Yeah, that's one
That's
blind spot in the Mega Man. Yeah.
Yeah, first Jake.
We're just a constant
First Jake
disappointment for
Cocoon
you.
2, and now Battle Network.
Hey, the JQ2 thing might be fixed soon.
Yeah.
That's true. You missed Sean flipping us off.
He flipped a double bird.
Yeah, double bird.
Oh,
what
you
he
double
said.
birded us because
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't
how you know
do the
he's
whole
serious.
I play 2 birds. I can give you the double bird.
Exactly.
That's,
There you go.
go. Yeah.
If anyone's worthy of a double bird.
What?
Bird up.
Bird.
I am so confused right now.
Don't worry about it.
I love Craftium quote. I want to jack into a park squirrel.
That's my new convention sizzler. Sean Chiplock, professional squirrel jacker. Let's not.
Not at all.
Oh
Not
boy.
at all.
So, let's move to some questions. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask on the chat itself.
Just finished up with some questions. Let's move on to some questions.
Yeah, I know, right? Not that we haven't had
Yeah,
enough.
questions from our audience. It's gonna be pretty obvious questions.
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard them a million times.
Yeah.
So get ready to like just pull out your canned answer.
All right. So, from Witch Rolina, speaking of suffering, I don't know what suffering we're talking about. What was the most painful experience you had playing Subaru? I think you've told us this.
Yeah, probably the screaming.
So there's a line I had to say that I must have said it 20 times, and I'm pretty sure it's going to sound completely forced, which is "I love Amelia." And
Spoilers. Oh, jeez.
I'm actually not sure if I think I refused to record that because I wanted it to be real, and they had to like just piece together bits from other lines that I said. So it's actually going to come out as "I love Amelia," and yeah, it's going to be like super fake.
So I think we already have an answer for the next question.
Don't worry about it.
Felix's best girl. Okay, but on a serious note, if there is something I never expected to be harder than screaming your lungs out, it's crying. Because in the scene where he breaks down in Amelia, because the whole concept of the human body, the reason why we cry is to let out an excess of emotion. That's why you can cry when you're sad, you can cry out of anger, you can cry out of happiness. It's an excess of emotion, and the body basically gets it out so it can go back to homeostasis, to just being at a normal state. Well, when you're recording for a scene where your character is crying, and I'm very much a method actor, so I want to put myself into that real place. I want to get myself to cry. So, I look at things, like puppies being given homes, or, I imagine my wife dying, or 4 kids getting another anime license dub. And that instantly, any of those things will instantly get me into this place of great sadness. But once I'm there and I record like 2 or 3 lines, in the time it takes for them to slot like 2 or 3 lines and perfectly line them up, and for me to do those takes, my body's gotten it all out. It's like, all right, I'm good now. But there's still 10 more lines to go of increasing sadness. So I feel like I did a great job. I really do think I gave the commitment required for that scene, but it's still that part of, well, I'm not going to know until I listen, because it was so hard to constantly keep myself in a state where my body needed to get tears out, where I was feeling that depressed. The reason why I feel confident like I did the job correctly is because when I left that session and went home, I just went to bed. It was really weird because I had no energy whatsoever. It was, if I close my eyes, just blink, I'm afraid that they're not going to open back up, and it's going to have been like 8 hours later. So it took a lot out of me, and crying authentically is hard, because anyone can scream. Anyone can really just let out all their anger. There's different ways of showing real anger. But when you're crying, either it sounds real or it sounds really fake. So it has to be authentic. There's no other way for it to be.
Yeah, that's tough. I remember watching this behind the scenes thing from Last of Us, where Troy Baker, and I don't know the girl's name, but basically the beginning of the game, and they're just like trying to do it, and then they had to redo it because the director didn't like how it turned out, and he's just like you said. I'm sure it just puts you in a place where you're just like, damn it, I don't want to have to go there. It's so much harder.
It reminds me of the behind the scenes of this Lord of the Rings when they're doing the final scene of the third movie. They're all crying, right?
Yeah.
And they had to do the scene like 4 times, and they did it on the 5th try. They did it perfectly, but the lens was all blurry. So they had to do it again.
No.
They're like, I hate this. I hate this so much. It's like because they have to actually cry.
Well, I think my favorite little like Lord of the Rings anecdote is I forget what part it's at, but like Aragorn or Viggo Mortensen like kicks something and he like breaks his toe and he's like, fuck.
Oh yeah, that was the take that they kept.
Yeah. That's so awesome.
He kicks the orcs' heads and he goes on his knees and he screams and you're like, and he broke his toe right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I did something similar in the scene in ReZero where Subaru ends up in a water tornado because he asks Puck to clean him. I wanted it to sound real, so I took the water that I was drinking and I went up to the microphone and I kept the water in the back of my throat and I started drowning myself. And,
oh my god.
And I can't, it's so hypocritical because as an actor, I should be capable of doing something like that without putting myself in danger. And I'm saying, I'm being 100% serious right now. When I look in the camera, I say, if you're a voice actor, do not do what I did. Like, you can actually drown yourself and cause permanent damage doing that in the booth. But it sounds really cool.
We will surely appreciate it when it airs.
It's not worth... The reason why I'm telling you don't do it is because it's not worth the risk. It's maybe like 5 seconds of animation in a 25-episode series. It's not worth the risk you're putting yourself in. But I'm the kind of person who's stupid enough to want to give 200% in absolutely everything. So to me, that 5 seconds was, here's a chance to make people laugh for 5 seconds or to not be convincing at all. And I decided to take the risk. So, but don't do it. Don't do it. No, it's not worth it.
I can't wait to watch the dub. And get all depressed all over again.
Yeah.
I can't.
And not from the series, just because of one episode and the Twitch.
I can't wait to see my favorite maid play Twister.
All right, from Smashimus. What's the hardest, most annoying part of running a podcast? What's your favorite and most rewarding part? Well, the hardest and most annoying part of running
is when
a podcast
Craftian shows up.
It's when Craftian shows up.
Every time Craftian shows up, it's the most annoying.
It's when the Trails of Cold Steel video won't work.
Yeah, so if you watch this live stream, you know what's annoying. All the technical difficulties that could happen.
All the technical problems.
Doing like a live with a guest requires 2 computers and like 4 monitors and 2 like it's insane.
Oh,
so
in my way, I don't know. I bet you there's
gotta be a better
probably an
way.
easier way to do it, but yeah.
But yeah, I have two mixers, 2 computers. It's fun. But yeah, the most annoying part is getting all the technical stuff done correctly.
I have 2 mixers. One is to put the audio together, and one is to put my drinks together after we're done with the podcast.
Exactly.
We're gonna need a drink or 2 after this one. Jeez.
Yeah, like it's true. Last week we had a guest on just to test it out, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, he just said it.
Yeah, and Brian
he just said it right now. We never had these
And then,
issues.
of course, we wanted to make sure everything worked perfectly
We're like,
for everyone else.
woo, it's going to work great for Sean. Like, we're ready to go, and then everything goes
Sean's
down.
an anime voice actor. We don't have to try as hard. Don't
Yeah,
worry
exactly.
about it.
Oh, no.
Most rewarding part
It's stuff like this.
is
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
being
Stuff
able
like
to talk
this.
to you.
It's great.
I mean, it's like, super unnerving. It's like first like emailing someone's like, am I annoying him? Am I?
That's
bothering
always the
him?
hardest part. Yeah, because like I was.
That's my secret Giant Sword podcast.
I'm always annoyed.
I'm an attention whore.
So we need more memes recorded in Reen's voice, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Reen meme bean machine Reen Schwarzer.
Yes.
Have you guys
Reen
heard
Cold
that
Steel.
thing? Have you guys heard that? Remember when the meme was like having a picture with like a quote, and then the picture got gradually less detailed?
Yes,
and
the
quote
Valimar one. The Valimar speech.
Have
Yeah.
you seen?
Yes!
Have you guys seen the Valimar speech one that I did?
So good.
Oh
I
my
think
God.
that's what I saw that. Okay, Ray Chana sent me that. I saw that. I laughed for like 5 minutes. I showed him that. He laughed for a long time, and he's like, "So should we ask this guy on?" because he seems pretty chill, and
Just
I'm like,
right after that, right?
just
Okay,
right
I'm
after
gonna,
that.
I'm gonna tweet him right now.
that
Oh my
meme
God.
opened us up.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Like I'm searching on Google right now to see if I can find it.
Nothing personnel, kid, but you're way out of my meme league.
Now do me a favor and go commit Sudoku.
Yes.
Alright?
Oh, Reen Cold Steel.
All right, Ring
From
Cold
Legend
Steel.
from Legend of Cold Steel.
You met Reen Cold Steel during your most recent con. I saw it.
Oh my God.
From Abram, he already asked. He already answered this question. It's like, for Sean, would you ever have lent your voice for a hentai / eroge visual novel? You said yes.
You said
already
yes
do.
already.
And
Already
then the
done.
next part.
There's like a furry DVD called How This All Happened, and I play like all the males. It's definitely explicit, but they had me and one other guy, and then the other guy ended up having to drop out, so I just took over, and now I'm all the hot furry dudes in this dating game. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he asked.
Sunny is so proud.
Yep.
Sunny is so
I
proud.
bet Sunny.
We're all proud.
We're all
Sean.
very
Yeah.
proud. And he asked, if so, can we get a little sample of your voice in this medium?
You know what? Here you go. I'm gonna do Reen as the Valimar the Ashen Knight. Heed my call. Valimar the Ashen Knight! Please acquiesce my vocal summoning. Valimar, the gray-hued medieval mercenary! It has come to my heart's desire that the subject to whom I am speaking promptly and loyally responds to the volumed process by which I beseech his presence. The individual named Valimar, who to the working eye appears to have a smoky coloration to the chassis depicting him as a protector of royalty!
That's so great.
So Abe, when he's in an adult game, he sounds exactly like Reen.
Obviously.
Wait. Do you guys want like the adult game sample?
That's what he wanted.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, wait, I mean, we've already heard this, but
Oh, fuck yeah.
everyone's telling you the least. Tell me when it's over. This is too awkward. That was really funny. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
There's,
We should have saved that question.
gosh.
You did it. Oh my god.
We can't follow that.
Perfectly fine.
We can't follow
Oh my god.
that. So I'm glad Abe's probably really happy.
Good job, Abe. This is all your fault.
All right.
Oh, man.
I had to take my headphones off for that one. That was too real. Oh my god.
All right.
Yep.
Fucking
He gets
hell.
hired for that stuff. Good.
So
got
from
it.
Phantom Thief B, still misspelled thief.
Oh.
For Sean, thank you for being such a good voice actor and a cool guy for interacting with the fans so much. As for my question, could you say, Gaius, you are my one true husbando in Reen's voice? I will die happy if you do. Anyway, thank you for everything, and I'm excited to hear your work in the future.
Hey, guys. I just wanted you to know you're my one true husbando.
There you go.
There we go. Well done.
Please spear me with your lance.
Boom.
Boom.
All right, and then he asks.
This
for
is the question that I'm sure you've had.
No, he has one more.
There's
Oh,
one
okay.
more before
Sorry.
that one.
Do all of us plan to play the new Spider-Man game?
Yes.
People in the chat are like, oh my god, you know, my roommate heard. What am I supposed to tell him? Just tell him you were jacking into a squirrel.
There you go.
It's okay, Mom. I was playing Battle Network. I was jacking the squirrel. Don't worry about it. It was this squirrel. I was jacking this squirrel right
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Okay. Oh man.
Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Fuck.
All right. What was the question?
If we're all gonna play the new Spider-Man game.
Oh, I don't. That's for PS4, right?
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, you might be
Yeah.
able to.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I definitely gonna play it. It looks awesome. Unfortunately, that month is getting extremely packed, so it's like Dragon Quest XI, Spider-Man, the new Tomb Raider, Spyro, and then I think there's like one other that like just got announced. And I can't remember what it is, but
Mega Man 11.
Well, it hasn't been given a release date, but everything's just trying to get out of the way of Red Dead 2 and Call of Duty. It's just like, oh, don't release it in October.
Is Call of Duty still like a thing?
Apparently
It's still like the top selling game like
isn't
every
the next
year.
one
It's
Black Ops
crazy.
4?
This is Black Ops 4.
I thought
this
it was
year,
a remaster of...
They're gonna release 2 at the same time, maybe.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Yeah, Black Ops 4.
It's the
still a
same
thing.
game over and over again. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's the same game over and over again. Oh my god, new Animal Crossing!
He's
New
not,
Pokemon.
Another Pokemon.
New Pokemon!
he's not wrong, you know.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. It's just not your type of game.
We don't
okay?
want a new game. We want the same thing. We want to feel comfort.
No, I want a
We
new game.
just want to feel.
I'm
comfort.
all for Pokemon.
I want the
becoming an
characters to
action
grow.
game.
That I fall in love with.
Then play that one game where it grows every time you get her stats up. Characters who grow.
Yeah.
There you
play
go.
on my
You just
Taverns,
offered-
there you go.
Okay, this is, I swear to God, this is going to sound like a joke, but I'm 100% serious. You know what game I'm really looking forward to? Clicker Heroes 2. I watched a dev video the other day, and it actually looks really fun, and I was really addicted to Clicker Heroes for a long time, and I would love to play it. I'm super excited for it.
Here you go. Is this the question?
This is the question. We've already heard his answer. If you know what we was talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
From Wandy, ask Sean who's better, Rem, Ram, or Leah.
Felix.
There you go.
There you go.
I'm sorry. Felix has all of the best assets. A great personality, amazing fashion choice, a huge determination to save Lagunica. A big dick.
Maddie, I'll tell you now because you don't know. Felix.
I think I can assume what it is.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap!
And it's a trap that I set up and then stepped into willingly.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Which Relina says who's Rem?
Who's Rem?
Her right there.
Blue hair.
One of them.
Spaghetti. How did you guys get into gaming / anime? Let's let Sean answer this one.
The running joke is that for me to stop kicking when I was in my mom's womb, she had to swallow Tabasco sauce or a Game Boy. She's like, the Tabasco sauce was great, but it just, it would make my digestive system messed up. So one day I just swallowed a Game Boy Micro, and then you were good. You were silent the rest of the way until when you were born, you just kind of fell out and you were already playing it. You kind of held it up because the batteries had run dry and you needed new ones. So
back in the day, we needed batteries.
So yeah, I've always that's kind of why I'm grateful for voiceover, is I actually worry that if I didn't have VO, I would just be another college graduate gamer who didn't really have anything to his name. But
gotta go, guys.
But now I'm grateful because as a voice actor, when I buy a video game, it's like, this is research material. I can write this off on my taxes. So
Oh, there you go.
so I'm
That's the
still
way.
a huge gamer for various reasons. But yeah.
And what about
That's just
for anime?
For anime, when I was young, I wrote a dissertation on Sailor Moon. I was one of those people who watched Sailor Moon because I liked the show, but everyone else was like, yeah, I watched Sailor Moon because of those hot transformation sequences, and I was like, yeah, me too. Not my Sailor Venus birthmark. I had a dream where the Sailor Scouts came into my bedroom and made me into the next Sailor Mercury, and I, for the love of me, have never been able to get that dream to repeat in all of my years of existing.
Sounds like a pretty good dream.
It
Although,
was, the only one that beat it was when I went through the Shadow Temple in first person. Like, I actually did the Shadow Temple puzzles and like walkways. I was playing the Shadow Temple, but I was Link, and I was seeing the temple through his eyes. And that was really cool. There was another one where if I did like a front flip off my back porch, I turned into a bat. That was awesome.
that's pretty
So-
cool.
That's pretty cool.
My dreams are always like, oh, I have all these awesome powers. Oh wait, there's this villain. Oh wait, I can't use my powers anymore. Shit.
I'm like, I can't run. Why can't
Yeah,
I
I
run?
can't run.
Oh God!
Oh,
They're gonna
yeah.
kill me right
Yeah.
now.
My superpower is the ability to turn any seafood, dairy, or spicy food into diarrhea.
That's a good power.
No,
It's
that's painful.
instantaneous. It's incredibly fast.
That takes talent. Not everybody can do that.
Taylor? What?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people got into... Actually, you know what? I take that back. I think I got into anime with Robotech. Your dad had Robotech.
Is that really an anime?
That's totally anime. You kidding me? Macross? That's like totally an anime.
Well, Macross is, but it's Robotech.
How? It's exactly the same thing. It's just dubbed.
Kathleen's
Voltron.
going to be screaming at you right now.
Okay.
Because...
Kathleen had like that... We had like that, oh, you were like, you were looking at the court and Kathleen was going...
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. She hasn't said anything yet.
You? What, gaming? Was it the PlayStation? Or...
No, I mean, I played like the original Nintendo when I was little. I'm like as far back as my memory goes, which is like 4 years old. Like I was playing like that shitty Ninja Turtles game and like Mario Brothers and stuff. Like, yeah. Mega Man 4 is my favorite. It's funny that you said 6, Sean, because 4 is my favorite, and I feel like not everybody likes 2 and 3, but so
let me see. Who are the robot masters in 4?
It's like Dive Man, Magnet Man, Pharaoh Man, Bright Man, Toad Man.
Yeah, whatever. All right.
Dude, Toad Man, he shakes his booty and it rains. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that.
For me, I was sheltered until my grandma sneakily gave us a Sega Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And
really?
My mom got really mad.
Yeah, your mom was like that when you were younger. She was like really weird about stuff.
She was like
that.
you got to read a book to play for 30 minutes.
I remember in high school, I would always come over and because we would carpool, and then like we'd hang out, and you're like, "All right, Taylor, you gotta leave. Bye." I'm like, "Okay, bye, guys."
Well, she wasn't that
so the
strict
joke
with
is that their mom is the Wicked Witch of the West, or
she's Maleficent.
Maleficent. Sorry, my bad.
I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say this just so I can give my apologies to the girl I never apologized to. I was so addicted to video games as a kid. I was playing Yoshi's Cookie at one point, and a girl who was visiting for we were doing an elementary school performance group. She wanted a turn, and she tried to approach me, and I spun in my chair and kicked her in the stomach, and I punted her so hard and so mercilessly that she ended up throwing up in the bathroom like a minute later.
Wow.
I was protecting my console, and I am so sorry for the violence. Video games do not cause violence. My determination causes violence.
It's gonna surprise you, Maddie, that Brian did that to me. I was in the room, he turns around and kicks me in the stomach, and I flew into the closet.
That's just what happens.
Yeah.
Doesn't
And it was
surprise
completely random.
Doesn't surprise me because I knew you had to take what he did to you, and you put.
Yes, I mercilessly beat you.
Gave it forward.
But it was more emotional with Maddie.
It was very
emotional. It was the
emotional.
emotional scars are still there.
Yeah, totally.
The physical stuff.
The physical.
My first anime, I guess Dragon Ball Z, you know, whatever. I never watched Robotech, but when I think of anime, I think of Dragon Ball Z. I was 4th and 5th grade. I was really into Tenchi. Because it was on what's it called?
The X-rated version though, right? With all the boobs, right?
Okay, they don't have the boobs. It was Toonami. They have the really crappy Microsoft Paint bikinis on.
Yeah,
they're really funny.
What was the kids anime block that was on for a while? Like it had like the Undersea Girl and like all of those sea creatures.
Undersea Girl.
It was an anime block for kids, and it was on the same channel as Adult Swim would be later that evening, and I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't Tsubumafu.
Oh my god.
Dude, that actually sounds very familiar.
Undersea Girls?
Anime Kids Anime Block on.
It was after Toonami. It was like when Toonami went away.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was around the time when Toonami was coming back. Like
it's where they showed like Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And some other like kids anime.
Huh.
Don't remember.
Shugochara. It's the one where they have the little eggs and there's like little fairies in them, maybe.
Okay.
Mermaid Melody.
Okay.
That's what Kraft says.
I don't remember.
Mermaid Melody.
Nope.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. From Smashimus. Next question.
Wait.
What? Oh yeah.
Wow.
Forgot about Maddie.
What?
2 years ago.
Not 2 years ago. I started watching anime at age like 6.
Princess 9.
I don't know if it's Princess 9 or Ranma that came first.
Ranma.
All I know is I was watching anime boobs at a really young age. And Mom walked in on one of them. She's like, "You're showing this to my daughter?" And he's like, "Yeah." And yeah, started off with Ranma and Princess Nine. Princess Nine is a good anime.
First of all, it was called Maguzi. The anime block for kids was called Maguzi.
Maguzi.
Secondly,
wow.
I was getting involved in anime when I was 6. Just check out Boku no Pico. So,
What's Boku no Pico?
No,
don't ask.
Look it up.
Is it like
Don't
some
ask.
weird hentai
Just
tentacle porn?
a bunch of squirrels jack into kids.
Okay.
Okay, so what I said was, for the question of the week, what was the weirdest anime you ever watched? One of them was Boku de Peppo. Boku de Peppo.
Buka de Beppo, yeah, that's the craziest of all animes.
I think I delete. Oh yeah, Boku no Pico, right there.
Okay.
Kathleen is yelling to not look it up.
Yeah, don't look it up.
Don't look it up.
I looked it up.
Do not.
You don't.
Don't
look
do
it
it.
up.
Do not.
I started playing games also at age 6 by playing an MMO called World of Warcraft.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
I still play it.
I remember Brian let you fish. I remember
Yeah,
this.
his main character owes his fishing skill, his max fishing skill, to me.
Wouldn't that be hilarious if, like, you're on voice chat and someone goes, "What are you, 12?" And you respond, "One day."
Wasn't raiding, but yeah, I was fishing and leveling up my wand skill with my warlock, running around in Westfall, and back when weapons had weapon skills, you had to level up.
You got to teach those deers a lesson.
You really do. The
You gotta
boars.
put 'em in their place.
The boars.
God.
The boars, you got to get those wolf pelts.
World of Warcraft came out freshman year of high school for me.
Yeah, 2004, man. That was a long time ago. I
Yeah.
can't believe it's still going.
Came
It's
out when I
crazy.
was 6.
What?
I've played since vanilla. Did I have my own account? No, but I've played since vanilla.
It all's coming back.
All right, so for the next question, from Smashmas, Sean, when you record, do you go to some sound booth studio with a crew, or do you have a homemade setup of your own with some notes given to you?
So in most cases with independent projects, I will be recording from home. So like Winds of Change. I think Skullgirls might have been recorded. At least originally there was some recordings done from home. So for most independent or indie projects, they'll be recorded at my studio. But for any like official stuff, like okay, I should rewind. Most indie projects in terms of games and most of my business narrations, like when you think of those online ads like "Meet Bob, Bob is looking for health insurance," that sort of stuff, that's all done at home. That's done in my studio. For official anime video games or any major commercials, such as like promos for CBS or ABC, or trailers for games or stuff like that, that will almost always be done at the actual company's recording studio. They'll either do it internally, like I know Sony has a lot of their own recording spaces or their own recording lot, or post-production studio, or at places that are given the license to do these dubs, like Bang Zoom, Cup of Tea, PCB Productions. And that's just a case where, especially if they're dealing with a larger cast, they want the audio quality to be consistent. And the only real way to do that is to have everyone record on the same setup with the same sound director, messing with the same settings, and that just means going to their location. So yeah, it will vary depending on what type of project it is, but basically if it's a game release, if it's something that you're playing on an official game, 90% of the time it's going to be done at a studio. Whereas if it's an indie project like a Kickstarter or something project, generally those will be done from home unless they have the budget to bring actors into their studio.
Cool.
Wish I had a budget.
We do. It's very tiny.
Very tiny.
It's whatever we can make up.
From Smash Bros. Who's better, Elisa, Laura, Fee, Emma, or Milliam?
Felix.
Felix.
It's always gonna be Felix.
Felix wins.
My personal one, it's a tie between Milliam and Fee, because Milliam I just love as a character. I love how she acts. I love her enthusiasm. I love her personality. But Fee is my wife, because that midriff though. Like I don't mean Fee is my wife as in she's my waifu. My wife is literally Fee.
Yeah, I thought
her
that was it.
mannerisms and how she acts, and yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
I know. I tried to grab it.
So your wife walks around with two gun swords.
Yes.
Yes, excellent.
Except they're shaped specifically like Starbucks coffee cups.
Yeah, excellent. Good weapon.
He's missing the most important character. You know who it is.
Who is that?
Now you just give me the death stare. Sarah.
Oh.
Sarah.
God.
See, Nick's a fan of the teachers.
She loves booze more than she could ever love anybody else.
Oh. Straight from the dude. He knows.
I don't know. I don't know if he
knows.
He recorded the lines. I don't know if he went the route though.
You recorded the line. I don't know if he went the route. Wow.
I mean, I recorded "I Love Amelia" too. That doesn't mean I believe in it.
Yeah, Nick.
Don't break my heart.
It's not the right way.
Taylor doesn't like any of them apparently.
No, I said Laura.
No, you don't like them because you don't like the game.
Oh.
Maddie.
Reen.
Reen.
I mean,
Reen's best waifu.
Reen is.
I mean, that's the true answer.
But Elisa. I go canon because I'm a canon scrub.
Canon scrub.
All right, and from Spaghetti again. Do you guys have any hobbies outside of gaming?
No.
We're losers.
Sunny.
Sunny. You got to show Sunny. They don't know who you're talking about.
No.
He
already. We've shown.
Sunny's been out multiple times.
She's very shy. I need to wash her again. So that, like I said, I'm grateful for voiceover because I'm pretty much, and now voiceover takes over more of my time than gaming. I used to be huge on. Have any of you heard of an MMO called Tree of Savior?
No.
Now, Tree of Savior it's out on Steam right now, and I was so hardcore into that game back when the beta first came out and when it was first publicly released. I had planned out my entire class. I was similar with games like MapleStory, where when they had the Dragon Tamer class, I at a point when the Evan class, the Dragon Tamer class, came out in MapleStory, in a span of 4 months, I was number 1 on my specific world/server for that character, and number 3 in the entire MapleStory game for that character class in terms of level and other stuff. The only 2 people that were ahead of me were a bot and 2 people playing the same character in 12-hour shifts.
Wow.
So
that's intense.
That is my thing. I get super focused on games that have skill trees and characters that build up. I love that sort of thing. So gaming is pretty much most of my life, and I would love to get back to a point where I can game more often and watch anime more often and be able to connect with those communities. Especially since when Undertale first came out, the skits and the audio parodies and stuff that I created, that's all on my SoundCloud, on my SoundCloud account. That was how I connected with Undertale groups, was through my contributions. So it's important for me to be able to play stuff so I can contribute back to it and understand what people are talking about when they have these conversations. I'm scared that we're going to get to a point where the only stuff I can really talk about are either dungeon crawlers, games I played 10 years ago, or stuff that I'm voicing in, and I don't want it to get to that point.
So, watch out for Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Mm-hmm.
It might be your cocaine.
Like,
oh boy.
the skill trees literally never end. It's like a fan, and each layer has like 5 to 6 skills, and then you level up, and then it does it again and again and again.
My weakness is skill trees, but my instant buy, like if you want me to purchase a game without looking at any other portion of it, prove to me that it has tameable, trainable, possibly evolvable monsters. If you can have monster battle buddies, I'm instantly sold. When I saw that you could have a black cat that followed around you in the field and battled with you in Fantasy Life, I bought it instantly, even though I've never actually played it. I still have not. J-Cocoon 2 is right up my alley. I loved Etrian Odyssey 5 because there was the archer class that could summon a hound and a hawk to fight alongside you in battle. Spiral Knights, I was addicted to that MMO because you could have a little cyber buddy who battled for you and alongside you. That is my crux. If you can have animal companions that you either catch, train, tame, woo over to your side, whatever, and they act alongside you in battle. Not battle on your behalf on La Pokemon, but battle with you. Done deal.
Nice.
Uh-oh. What about randomized loot boxes that give you anime waifu blades?
Oh, is that Xenoblade Chronicles 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not just waifus. There's animals and weird things.
Yeah.
I remember you got your first blade and you got the stupid bunny girl.
Yeah, I know.
His first rare blade, and my first rare blade was a giant balloon guy. He was Pom Pom from Strong Bad.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
That's what he was. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And you got like freaking busty bunny chick.
Yep. and her move is basically a blitz ball, the best weapon. No, but to answer the question, hobby, like, I was kind of talking to Maddie about this yesterday, but I was, growing up, I was really into sports, and it kind of now bleeds over into my other interests. So there's, I'm sure you've heard of Haikyuu, the volleyball anime. And so, like, I just started watching it, and there's this part when they're in a tournament, and they're, like, their friends are on other teams, and, like, there's, like, a girls team and stuff like that, and, like, it just made me cry, because, like, it reminded me, I used to play with this guy's brother. Like, me and him shared the longest touchdown of our senior season in football, and, like, every time I think about it, it just, like, makes me cry. And so, like, sports is a big thing for me, for sure. Yeah. So Haikyuu is very emotional because of that, because it reminds me of playing sports in high school. Yeah.
Question is hobby outside of video games?
Yeah.
Okay, so used to be softball, right? That's done. So now it's Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, it's outside of video games, Dungeons and Dragons, and making JRPG video skits. Even though I hadn't had the time to do that in ages, I don't.
Still a hobby.
Don't.
Video editing. I mean, that generally, we could both say video editing.
Oh, the thing.
Yeah, do you remember when you did that raffle for, I think, the PC version of Trails of Cold Steel? Is that what it was?
Yeah, okay, I can say it, even though I might cry again. But, so, you did a raffle where it's like, everyone send me a voice clip of either someone saying the S-Crafts or Reen calling Valimar. And I saw that on the way home from school, and I'm like, I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna make a video, right, with, like, special effects and everything. So I did. And I was, like, the time was coming up because it was really hard because I was actually doing, like, a lot of things, trying to do it all fast. And time was coming up, and it was about 10 minutes to 3, which is your deadline. I was like, okay, last thing I could do. It's not that great, but it's, like, it's fun, so you should like it. And then my computer crashed.
Oh, no.
And then I realized I was so focused on trying to do it, I didn't save it all.
Oh, no.
So she had no autosave.
No autosave, I had nothing. I lost everything, and
there was one time, because I do some long form stuff too. There's a client who I consistently work with who sends me, like, self-help audiobooks, and I was recording for about an hour and 20 minutes, and I step out of the studio to start editing it, and then realize I had never switched the mic from my webcam mic to my studio mic.
Oh no.
So it didn't matter if I saved it. It was just not, it was bad audio quality, and I had to delete it, and I had to do that entire section over from scratch. I cried. I legit cried. I went to bed, and I was like, I can't do this right now.
Don't worry, I legit cried too for a long time.
So there was this one time where I was having this really awesome podcast, and I was having this really amazing voice actor on. And for some reason, the intro just wouldn't work.
Wow, that's so weird.
It's like, I tried it like 5 times.
Wait, did he stay on for the podcast?
Yeah, fortunately he did. But it was just embarrassing. Everyone was laughing at us on the podcast. It was like,
Oh man, saving.
Wait, do you still
woes.
have that?
He's probably desperate. He's probably like an attention whore. He just stayed on because he liked the attention.
Yeah, sounds about right.
You actually have the file though. You were working on it.
Yeah, no, I cried for a good 30 minutes, and then Nick actually came and was just like, Maddie, do it anyway, and send it to him because he'll still probably enjoy it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And so I started, and I got back to the point where I was, and I'm like, I don't have a time limit anymore. I'm gonna make it as freaking epic as possible. So I was just like, I started, yeah, okay, so I did, I can show you after, actually. But, you know, I was at a point where I was starting to rotoscope myself out so I can make the background darker. Because in the S-Crafts, the background's darker while you're white, right? So I was starting to roto myself out, and I've gotten, I want to say I've worked on it for maybe 15 hours. And then I kind of stopped. But, yeah, I have it.
The raffle is over!
I enjoy passion projects. It's cool. cool.
I think you just bought the game anyway, though, didn't you?
Maybe
On
if I
PC?
get asked to reprise my role for Trails of Cold Steel 3, we can have a new raffle. I don't know.
Yeah, but then I realized it's like I could probably do this so much because I did it really fast, like on my phone recording, because I knew I was on a time limit, so the footage isn't that great. But I was like, I could do this a lot better and use a green screen and all that. So it's like, if I do this again, I'm probably just gonna make it really cool, but more time efficient and just better in general.
You could.
But yeah, I have 5 seconds of it kind of done, and it looks really cool. But I still cry inside every time I look at it.
She S-crafts a Foxy.
Yeah, I S-craft a Foxy. I did it in the street, and I had a little table, and I put a huge Foxy plush I had, because it kind of looked like, things you find in Trails of Cold Steel, the weird little animals. So I put a Foxy plush there, and I S-craft a Foxy plush.
Oh my god. That's precious. Also, someone in the chat just sent a Sailor Scout Sean.
Kathleen! Oh my god, that was
How
fast!
did Kathleen draw that so fast?
Wow.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's freaking precious.
You look so happy.
Wait.
You just look so
Wait.
proud of yourself. Yeah.
How do I gotta
Are you blushing though? Because she makes sure you have good blush. There you go. You look good.
There you go.
There
Once
we
it's all
go.
colored, you'll have the blush.
You have the blush and everything.
now bear my Arctic Blast?
But do you like the new Sailor Moon Crystal? Or
Yeah, Sailor Moon Crystal.
And yes, there's blush.
Yes, there's blush.
Of course, everything she does, I must have the blush. I don't know if you remember it, but she also tagged you in a Reen pose where he was starting to do his S-craft, and he was smiling, and you commented on it. This must have been before all the sadness and depression entered his life.
Right.
And I was like, Reen's just a good boy that needs to be happy.
Yo, I always get worried when I make comments, because when I comment on artists' artwork, I try to do some sort of humor. Like if I find the pose funny in a certain way, it's all in good fun, and I want to make a comment on it. But I'm always scared that artists are gonna interpret it as, oh, he's pointing out a flaw in my artwork and he's making fun of it. I'm like, no, I like it, and that's why I'm trying to add to it. So
Yeah, that was a good comment. It was good. It was a good time. It's fun to make fan art, whatever your art is, whether it's writing, making a video, drawing. It's always fun to make fan stuff. And send it to the person.
Oh,
So nerve-wracking.
I am a beautiful Sailor Scout.
Yes, you are.
his dream has come true.
He is a beautiful Sailor
That
Scout.
was, forget Dungeon Crawlers. My goal was to become Sailor Mercury from my dream, and now I'm done. I'm gonna stop living.
It's over.
The dream
The
is
dream.
realized.
He's made it. He's peaked.
We forgot to do what we've been playing.
It
Yeah,
doesn't,
it's
it doesn't
way
matter.
down.
It doesn't matter.
It's
we
been
could-
2 hours.
We could
It
do
doesn't
it
matter.
if Sean wants to continue.
It doesn't matter.
Nah, it's fine. Who cares?
I've been playing the same game. You finished Ni no Kuni 2, and
And it was
you've
bad.
been doing stuff and
It
whatever.
was bad. I'm just kidding.
Just don't ruin it for Sean.
No, it's fine. The first one was
I'm
better.
the bard.
I'm the bard.
All
Play
right.
the first one.
Let's play the
All right,
first one.
Keep going.
No, that's it.
Oh, that's
I
all the
will
questions?
pay an indie game creator if they put voiceover in the game. Just here's a very clean one of I'm the bard, and just put that as the NPC's only line, and anytime you talk to him, that's what he says.
I'm the bard.
I'm the bard.
What the hell's wrong with this guy?
All right. Yeah, that looks like it's it. So,
What?
yeah.
Oh my god.
This was really fun. Even though we had a bunch of technical difficulties, thank you for sticking with us.
And I even got to 69 for episode 69.
You got it.
Yeah.
You did.
It's perfect. We knew. We scheduled it.
It was perfect.
Good.
When I scheduled it, and I scheduled it for April 8th, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be the 69th episode.
Too perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
is this the part where I plug myself?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grab my beanie. Hold on. No. So hey guys, first of all, thank you guys for having me on the show. Like, I really, really appreciate it.
Of course.
If you guys would like to follow me in my shit posting adventures, you can follow me. I'm basically the same on all accounts. On Twitter, it's at Sonic Mega. On Tumblr, it's at Sonic Mega. On YouPorn, it's at Sonic Mega. On Facebook, it's Sean Chiplock. And I just post there all the time. Twitter is definitely where my announcements happen first. Or if you would like to see me and my panels in person, please feel free to request me to conventions in your area, because they base their guest invitations off of fan demand, and now I have more panels than ever that I can offer, including, and I'm being 100% serious when I say this, I was at NakaCon a couple weeks ago, and I held an event called Smash for Cash. And the entire point of the event was, if you beat my Mega Man, which I consider myself to be the #1 Mega Man player on the western half of the United States, if you beat my Mega Man at that panel, I gave you $20. Like, you didn't owe me anything if you lost. Like, if you wanted to tweet that I kicked your butt, whatever, but you didn't have to pay me anything. I paid you if you won. Not a single person who went to that panel took money off of my Mega Man.
Wow.
Nice.
That's impressive.
So we got to...
And they had some of their PR members there, like their highest ranked members of that region of Kansas. No one did it. No one did it.
We got to request him to join, to go to Fanime.
Yeah,
There
I was
you
gonna
go.
say Fanime. It's coming up.
Totally down.
Gotta get him to play Jake's Little Mac.
We haven't played... Okay, so...
I like playing Little Macs because it goes one of two ways. If they're extremely skilled, then it's fun for me because we both know that I can easily gimp them, and it's this kind of mutual respect happening. But if they don't know what they're doing, I just poop all over them. It's grab, back throw, spike, done, end of match. It's super, super quick. But I like facing Little Mac because of the technical knowledge required of the player, because it's a hard matchup for Little Mac against Mega Man. It really is, because Mega Man can just throw metal blades. He can totally zone him out. And he's heavy, so it takes Little Mac a long time to kill him. So.
And all this Smash talk made me remember what I wanted to talk to Sean about.
Oh,
New
really?
Smash.
New Smash?
Yeah.
Too late.
I was just thought about it. We'll record that later.
Okay.
Yeah, so thanks for joining us, Sean. It was great.
It was great
I'm
having
sorry for everything, but...
I'm sorry for just everything.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for you existing. I
I
know
know.
it's hard.
Sorry.
We'll all learn to move on.
you on. Yeah.
And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this podcast, we release it on YouTube and iTunes on Tuesday. So if you guys want to listen to it again in its full edited perfectness,
And we have another episode with Sean if you want to go way back.
yeah, go
and
way
listen to
back
the old
on
one.
episode
No.
39.
Oh, that was some
Oh.
good stuff right there.
39. What was that about? Giant sword cast 39.
I don't know if it was 39.
It was 39.
It was 39? Okay.
Yeah. It's called The
Oh my
Deku Tree Cracks Us Up.
Oh, the Deku
Oh,
Tree cracks us out. Yeah, this was like right after Zelda came out, I think.
Now everyone can go and compare the two episodes and be like, has he become a better or a worse person since I... Nope, definitely worse. Definitely worse.
I know we played the game where guess your voice lines and like
Oh, that's
my God.
right.
Nine
almost
out of 10.
everyone
Yeah.
was impressed by how well you knew almost every single voice line, and
I
you
got 9 out of 10.
messed up one.
What was the one that...
I don't
It
know.
was Spade. It was Spade. I didn't get...
the guy from the Sonic ripoff game or whatever.
What?
from Freedom Planet.
Freedom
Spade
Planet.
from
Yeah,
Freedom
yeah,
Planet.
yeah.
Sonic ripoff.
That's what it
Wow.
is.
I'm going back to Steven. I'm telling him you said that.
I remember on that episode I asked him, so when is Freedom Planet 2 coming out? And you're like, I don't know. And I'm still waiting for Freedom Planet 2 30 episodes later.
So am I. I want those paychecks. I want those residuals.
Wait, didn't you say you wanted to have a game where it's like porn or fighting game?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just had a voice clip and to tell.
If it's
You-
porn
if it's
or a
a
fighting
porn-
game.
Hello, Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball.
There you go.
There you go.
So I think I'm going to make that for the next time we have you
Oh,
on.
God.
So in another 30 episodes.
Another 30 episodes, we're going to
Oh,
have
great. Maybe we'll have Sunny back.
There you go.
There you go. She'll be nice and clean.
So you thought that was awkward. Just think about what I'm doing to that.
Oh, good.
What about what you're doing to that park squirrel?
I'm jacking it in. All right.
Jacking that
Yeah, we're going to keep going if this happens. So, yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back next Sunday.
I won't.
Yeah,
No.
Sean. Thanks, Sean, for joining.
By then the restraining order will kick in.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Later.